Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in for Week 7 Power Rankings. We had a couple of crazy games in Week 6, a couple of blowouts as well. But I'm not going to make this intro any longer. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. Alright guys, these are my rankings from last week, Week 6. So, write it down, take a picture. I don't give it, you know the reference. But, let's get into these week's rankings. Alright, so we're going to start with the teams with bye weeks because you guys know my motto. You don't play football, you don't move. And first we're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs on a bye week. I had them at the S tier, going to keep them there. Then we're going to have the Los Angeles Rams. I had them at the C tier, we're going to keep them there. This now had the Miami Dolphins on a bye. I had them at C, going to keep them there. And the Minnesota Vikings, undefeated, S tier, I'm going to keep them there. So now let's get into these week's games. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks, 3 games skid after starting off the season 3-0. But I'm still going to have this team at a B. Even though defensively they looked kind of shaky. Offensively they had some shaky moments. And the San Francisco 49ers, they are at 3-3 and I had them at B. And I'm gonna keep the San Francisco 49ers at B because when you watch that ball game, it was not, I don't think it was enough offensively that this football team did to like overly impress me. We know Shanahan's offense, but it just at times it looked struggled. The game, the score might have been a little bit out of the box a little bit, but for me, I just don't see enough from the 49ers to justify moving them up to an A tier. Even though that was a good performance, I just don't see enough. Seattle, they just looked shaky the last couple of weeks. Then we're going to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars versus my Chicago Bears. I mean, the Jaguars, they look uninspired. They just look like a team dead in the waters. Offensively, they struggled. And despite the Bears secondary not being as healthy, they still struggled. They did have Evan Ingram had a good game. Defensively, they struggled. Just not a very good football team. And this is probably the highest I've ever had the Bears, ever. Moving the Bears to an A tier. Yes, it sounds a little bit crazy. Moving the Bears to A. The reason I moved the Bears to A is, one, offensively, the last 3 weeks, they have rolled. Caleb Williams has been improving every week. His defense is still stout despite the losses in their secondary this past week, heading into the bye week. And they have been running the football tremendously the past 3 weeks with Johnson and Swift. So I'm impressed about what I've seen with the Bears. 4-2, which is kind of where I actually predicted them to be a little bit this year, but it just looks a whole lot better these last 3 weeks. So I think I'm justified moving the Bears to A. Next, we're going to have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Washington Commanders. The Ravens, I'm keeping at S. Really good ball game. Lamar Jackson played phenomenal. That defense played a little bit better, so I'm going to move them to an S. And the Washington Commanders, I'm keeping the Commanders at A. I really like what I've seen from Jaylon Daniels despite the loss. Defensively, it does suck that they lost Jonathan Allen for the season with the torn pec. And offensively, Terry McLaurin from The Ohio State University has been a big key to what they've been doing. And Jaylon Daniels' legs and the way that Cliff Kingsbury has his offense rolling, I'm very impressed. Despite the loss, I'm still going to keep the Commanders in the A. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals versus the Green Bay Packers. I had the Arizona Cardinals at C. I'm going to keep them there. And to be honest, the way this Packers team, defensively, they've been creating some turnovers. Offensively, they still have some struggles. I might be crazy for saying this, but I'm keeping them in B. I think Jordan Love has moments where he just looks like and then Jordan Love had moments where he just looked good. Defensively, something about that defense is a little bit wary for me, despite the creating the turnovers. So I'm going to keep the Packers at a B. Next, the Houston Texans versus New England Patriots. I'm going to keep the Texans at S, and the New England Patriots. Drake May showed a lot of promise, so I'm going to keep the Patriots at C. I mean, you know what? I'm going to drop them. I'm going to drop the Patriots to a D. I mean, you do have a lot of promise out of Drake May, but I said coming into this season, this year it should be more about developing of Drake May than anything. They're damn to win the losses. Of course, you want to win games, but it should be more about developing of Drake May. And this past week against a very good Texans defense, you've seen promise. And then the Texans just came out and dominated a football game, which they should have dominated. C.J. Stroud from The Ohio State University. Looks like he's him. I mean, I've said he's him a long time ago, but... And then the offensive round in the football with Mixon, Damian Pierce, they have been just looking like a stout offense. And defensively, I've seen them get better week on week. So I'm going to put them in an S. Next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. I'm keeping the Bucs at A. That was a tremendous performance by their offense. And then the Saints, I'm going to drop them to a C. They have just not been looking like the same football team they were the first 2 weeks. Despite Derek Carr being hurt, this team is just not looking like the same team on both sides of the football. Offensively, they haven't been explosive like they were in the first 2 weeks. They haven't been running the football with the consistency they were the first 2 weeks. They had made some plays on defense, but this team offensively is just something missing. I don't know what. Defensively, it's just so iffy. They are so questionable at times. Saints team is just not the team that they were the first 2 weeks. So that's why I got to drop them to a C. And to get 50 points put on you, yeah. Next, we're going to have the Cleveland Browns versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm keeping the Browns at D. It's time to bench Deshaun Watson. It's time to bench him. It really is. They're stuck in that contract, but it's time to bench him. And as far as Philadelphia Eagles go, they won the game. Doesn't mask some of their problems. It does good game where Jalen Hurts doesn't turn the football over, but this win does not mask some of their defensive woes. Doesn't make some of their offensive woes, but a win is a win. And I still don't believe this team is at a good level right now. Despite the win, I'm still not a believer in it. But the Browns, they just got awful on offense. It's time to bench Watson. Today's video is brought to you by Cellular C4. This is a product that I personally used before I even decided to partner with them. And the first thing I got introduced to was the energy drinks by C4. This right here is a fruit punch flavor. They have many other flavors. They have popsicle flavors that just dropped. They have Skittles, Starburst, all the type of flavors that you want. To help you get started with your day, you can wake up in the morning before you start your day and drink you one of those. And also before you get that workout in, when it's workout day, you can take you some pre-workout. To help you get the boost in your workout, all the products, 0 sugar, low calories. This is a great product to take you in your workouts and your journey on fitness to the next level. And I am happy to partner with a product that I was already using in my own personal life. And I will leave my code in the description below to save you guys 20% on your first purchase of C4 of their workouts. They even have muscle recovery to help boost after workouts. They have so many supplements and things to help you on your fitness journey, and you can get yours today in the description below. Click the link and use my code APW Sports to help you save 20%. And again, the links are in the description below, and use the code APW Sports to save you 20% on your purchase. Now, it is time to get back into the video. Next, we're going to have the Colts and the Titans. And let's see, Titans. Yeah, I'm putting the Titans at C. I'm really liking starting to learn I see from the Colts with Joe Flacco. I'm interested to see where Anthony Richardson comes back. They fall hard, got a tough win. Defensively, they play solid. And for the Tennessee Titans side, Will Levis is just not it. It's not the quarterback. He's just, to me, at least from what I've seen, I haven't seen too much growth in Will Levis to have belief that he is the quarterback of this franchise. Defensively, they have been kept in games by a solid defense. Offensively, they just, something about Will Levis, this is not it for me. So I'm going to keep the Titans to C for the moment. Next, we have the LA Chargers versus the Denver Broncos. And the Chargers, I had it C. I'm keeping the Chargers. I'm moving the Chargers B, but I'm keeping the Broncos at B. Very tough game. The Broncos did not look necessarily great. It just was, I want to say, a little bit of an ugly game for both sides. Justin Herbert is starting to look like I'm not going to say not the guy, but it looks like he's not. It's just something that's not there with Justin Herbert. They ran the football solidly. Defensively, they've been getting out there creating turnovers. And then the Broncos side, they came back, they fought hard. They just weren't able to come up with the game. I do like our start. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Bo Nix. I'm liking what I'm seeing from this Broncos defense that's been consistently solid. So I'm going to keep the Broncos. They're right at that mid-level tier. I'm going to keep them there. Next, we're going to have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm keeping the Raiders at C, and I'm moving the Steelers up to. I'm keeping the Steelers at the B. I say move up, but not. I'm just this Raiders team, quarterback wise. I've always said they just should have done something this offseason besides bringing in Gardner Minshew. And they know Condo's not it. And defensively, not been a very good football team. And at the time of me recording this video, they traded Devontae Adams. So this offense, I think, is going to regress because Devontae Adams looking like he may have been coming back maybe in a week or so for that hamstring, and they don't have him anymore. Defensively, it could be possible they get rid of Max Crosby. It's not a good football team. And then for the Pittsburgh Steelers standpoint, offensively they have moments where they sputter. Justin Fields was efficient. The stat sheet may not look like it only threw for like 150 yards, rushed 2 touchdowns though. But my problem with the Steelers offensively, they don't have any other weapons. Besides Freiermuth and Pickens, there's just not a lot there on the passing game. And Najee Harris has some very solid runs offensively. But this offensive line for the Steelers is just not very good. And the lab with the receiving core is just not good outside of Pickens and Freiermuth. And a defense that's just absolutely beastly. They need more offensively. The quarterback is not the issue, as reports are saying right now that Russell Wilson may be starting. Not a fan. Next, we're going to have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Carolina Panthers. I mean, the Panthers are the Panthers. But the Atlanta Falcons, I'm moving the Falcons up to an A. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Kirk Cousins spreading the football to these weapons. Defensively, I mean, on the front end, I would like to see just a tad bit more. But offensively, they have been very explosive. They can really score points with the best of them. Defensively, like I said, I want to see a little bit more from the front. Secondary was good with Terrell, Bates, Simmons. But the Panthers are just the Panthers. Not a very good football team. They turn the football over. Defensively, they just can't stop a nosebleed. So, Panthers are the Panthers. One of the worst teams in football. Next, we're going to have the Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys. I almost want to drop the Cowboys to a C, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the Lions at an A. I hate the fact that Aiden Hutchinson had to break his leg. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. One of the more exciting players to watch on the defensive side of the ball. Effort, and they are really going to miss this. And should they make a trade for Max Crosby? I'm just saying. Just keep that production level, and then when Hutchinson comes back. But the Cowboys, Jesus, I probably might just do a video on them alone. Cause God, this is awful. Especially at home, to get your butts beat in at home. You got the brakes beat off of you. You can't do nothing offensively. You can't run the football because you have no running game. Defensively, you can't stop a nose, but you can't stop the run. Secondary, we know it's a little bit banged. The team we know is a little bit banged up, but you can't stop the run. You can't stop the pass. What the hell are you doing? They switched from a 4-3-3-4 defense. I'm just not a fan of what they're doing at all. On either side of the ball, they made a mistake in not getting Derrick Henry. They just can't do anything successful offensively because they can't run the ball. And when a team is one-dimensional, it's easy to stop, easy to slow down. And the Lions just looked like they were having a great old time, and they've shown why they're one of the more dominant teams that we have, one of the more complete football teams that we have in the NFL. Jared Goff is playing unbelievable. The running game with Gibbs and Montgomery, Amon St. Brown, the offensive line with Taylor Decker from The Ohio State University, Penei Sewell, dominant offensively, one of the best offenses in the league. And then the Cowboys overall, they just suck. The Buffalo Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Giants. The Bengals finally got back on track, but it wasn't pretty, so I'm going to keep them at C. Giants, how many times I got to say? This Daniel Jones guy is not it. Daniel Jones is not it. Their defense is actually not a very bad defense at all. Offensively, they just cannot sustain any rhythm. They just cannot sustain any rhythm at all. And especially against the Bengals defense that has not been playing in much good football all year. The Giants offense just did absolutely freaking nothing. Nothing. It's time to get rid of Daniel Jones. I don't know how many times I got to say it, but it's got to go. Last but not least, the Jets versus the Bills. And this is a down year for the Bills, and I'm still having them at an A tier. Despite them only scoring 3 points in that entire second half, Josh Allen made some really key necessary plays to win them that football game. And as far as the Jets go, I can't put them at a D. But this team offensively, Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't been the same Aaron Rodgers, and I kind of expected that a little bit coming into this year. Firing Robert Saleh, I think, was a mistake. Keeping Nathaniel Hackett as an offensive coordinator, I don't think that works. This Jets organization is a mess. I'm probably going to do a video about them too, because I got a lot to say about this Jets offense and Jets team in general. It's a mess, to say the least. Even though they did just acquire Devontae Adams, I'll give you guys my thoughts on that. I'll probably do a separate video, like I said. It's not a good team. But these are my power rankings heading into week 7 of this 2024 NFL season. It's been a crazy one, but these are my rankings. Leave you guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Like the video, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a good next day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.